Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will showing you wrestling's greatest feuds, the story of Bret Hart vs. Shawn Michaels. Watch to complete story still end. The rivalry between Bret, the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels is one of the most iconic and controversial feuds in the history of professional wrestling. Spanning decades and culminating in the infamous Montreal Screwjob, their animosity was not just confined to the ring. It was deeply personal, with layers of professional jealousy, contrasting philosophies, and outright disdain. This feud defined an era, shaped careers, and left an indelible mark on the wrestling industry. Let's dive into the story of Bret Hart vs. Shawn Michaels, a tale of betrayal, brilliance, and legacy. The early years, from allies to rivals. Before they became bitter enemies, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were contemporaries navigating the world of professional wrestling in the 1980s. Bret Hart, a product of the legendary Hart family, had a background rooted in technical wrestling and a traditional approach to the sport. On the other hand, Shawn Michaels, with his charismatic persona and flamboyant style, represented a new wave of wrestling entertainment. Their paths first crossed in the WWF, now WWE, when Bret was part of the Hart Foundation, and Shawn teamed with Marty Jannetty as the Rockers. While their initial interactions were cordial, the seeds of rivalry were sown as both men aspired to become the face of the company. By the early 1990s, both wrestlers had transitioned into singles competition. Bret Hart, with his excellence of execution moniker, became known for his technical mastery and work ethic. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, was quickly gaining popularity for his high-flying moves and magnetic charisma. It was clear that these two were destined to clash on the grand stage. The Iron Man match, WrestleMania XII. One of the earliest and most significant chapters in their rivalry was the Iron Man match at WrestleMania XII in 1996. The match, which lasted 60 minutes and showcased both wrestlers' endurance and skill, was a defining moment for both men. Shawn Michaels emerged victorious, capturing the WWF Championship and solidifying his status as a top star. While the match was a spectacle, it also highlighted the growing tension between the two. Bret Hart's traditional approach to wrestling clashed with Shawn's more showman-like persona. Bret's loss, combined with Shawn's ascendancy, marked the beginning of a professional and personal rivalry that would escalate in the coming years. Backstage tension and real-life animosity. What set this feud apart from others was the genuine animosity between Bret and Shawn outside the ring. Their personalities could not have been more different. Bret, known for his professionalism and dedication to wrestling as a sport, often clashed with Shawn, whose brash attitude and unpredictable behavior earned him both admirers and detractors. By the mid-1990s, backstage politics began to play a significant role in their feud. Bret Hart accused Shawn Michaels of being disrespectful and unprofessional, while Shawn viewed Bret as self-righteous and unwilling to adapt to the changing landscape of wrestling. The rivalry was further fueled by rumors, trash talk, and incidents that blurred the line between fiction and reality. One infamous moment occurred during a promo when Shawn suggested that Bret had been unfaithful to his wife. This comment crossed a line and deeply angered Bret, adding a personal layer to their already tense relationship. The Montreal Screwjob, a defining moment. The rivalry reached its boiling point at Survivor Series 1997 in Montreal, Canada. Bret Hart, the reigning WWF champion, was set to defend his title against Shawn Michaels. However, Bret was leaving the WWF to join WCW, and tensions over how he would drop the championship were high. Bret, unwilling to lose to Shawn in his home country of Canada, proposed alternative finishes that Vince McMahon, the owner of WWF, rejected. Unbeknownst to Bret, Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels conspired to take the title from him without his consent. During the match, Shawn placed Bret in the sharpshooter, Bret's signature move. Referee Earl Hebner, under orders from Vince, called for the bell, signaling that Bret had submitted even though he had not. The Montreal Screwjob was a shocking and unprecedented moment in wrestling history. Bret Hart's public outrage, spitting in Vince McMahon's face and punching him backstage, highlighted the betrayal he felt. For Shawn Michaels, the incident solidified his role as a heel both on screen and off. Aftermath and legacy. The fallout from the Montreal Screwjob had far-reaching consequences for all parties involved. Bret Hart's departure to WCW marked the end of an era, while Shawn Michaels continued to thrive in the WWF. The Screwjob also played a pivotal role in the creation of the Mr. McMahon character, which became a cornerstone of the WWF's Attitude Era. For years, the bitterness between Bret and Shawn persisted. Bret felt betrayed not only by Shawn but also by Vince McMahon and the WWF. Shawn, on the other hand, maintained that he was simply following orders. The rivalry became a symbol of wrestling's blurred lines between fiction and reality. Reconciliation and closure. In 2010, over a decade after the Montreal Screwjob, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels appeared together on WWE programming to address their rivalry. In an emotional segment, the two men shook hands and embraced, symbolizing the end of their feud. This moment of reconciliation was significant not just for Bret and Shawn but for fans who had followed their story for years. It was a reminder that even the most bitter rivalries can find resolution and that the legacy of their feud would forever be etched in wrestling history. The cultural impact of Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. The rivalry between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels transcended the wrestling ring. It represented a clash of eras, styles, and philosophies. Bret embodied the traditional, disciplined approach to wrestling, while Shawn symbolized the entertainment-driven, larger-than-life persona that defined the Attitude Era. Their feud also highlighted the complex dynamics of the wrestling industry, where personal relationships and backstage politics often intertwine with on-screen storylines. The Montreal Screwjob, in particular, remains one of the most discussed and analyzed moments in wrestling history, shaping how fans and wrestlers view the business. Conclusion: wrestling's most memorable rivalry. The story of Bret Hart vs. Shawn Michaels is more than just a wrestling feud. It's a tale of ambition, betrayal, and redemption that captivated fans and defined an era. From their early days as rivals to the Montreal Screwjob and their eventual reconciliation, Bret and Shawn's story is a testament to the power of storytelling in professional wrestling. While their rivalry was fraught with tension and controversy, it also produced some of the most memorable moments in wrestling history. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels will forever be remembered as two of the greatest performers to step inside the squared circle, their legacies intertwined by a feud that changed wrestling forever. If you like it, so please subscribe my channel for more videos. Thanks for watching.